Next, Molly Wallace is a senior double majoring in English and Classics. She's also she's the first of our 4 seniors who are speaking tonight. I thought someone brought this to my attention. All 4 are writing massive senior honors theses, but none of them are talking about their thesis projects, which I thought was kind of like this cool intellectual thing. I'm getting really old for this. Anyway, the point is, this is a really important talk. You know, at Tufts and in Techs, for sure, we talk a lot about creativity and how to stimulate it. What we don't talk enough about is the role that tradition plays in making innovation possible. And, you know, the fact that with any great art or discipline or culture, continuity can be key for creativity. And how we talk about that as a community is exactly what Molly's talk is about, and it's what Techs is all about. So please give it up. Put your hands and heads together for Molly Wallace.
At the end of 2012, Parquet Court was named one of the best new bands in the country by Pitchfork, Rolling Stone, even the New York Times. And believe it or not, Apple Jam booked them to play at Tufts last semester. This is a band that's technically bigger than Nelly, and we booked them, we got them. But here's the rub. The only venue Apple Jam could find to host the gig was Arts House, and Res Life shut down the show halfway through their set. Not that this really mattered because nobody knew about the show in the first place. There were maybe 30 people there by the time it got shut down. Parquet Court is one of the hottest bands in the country right now. We got them, and they didn't even get to play. You can see why this poses a huge problem. Apple Jam and Midnight at Tufts are the only Tufts groups that sponsor local live bands here on campus, and they've found it increasingly difficult to host their gigs. At this point, they've been shut out of Hotum, Brown and Brew, Crane Room, and now that Arts and Crafts House are kind of always on probation, the only thing left is SoGo. This is not the ideal space for any outlet. There are chairs in there, and the acoustics are terrible. So this is a big deal. I mean, where is our creative scene? Aren't we supposed to be this quirky, hip, liberal arts hub? When I was applying here, the website said that there were too many ways to share your passions. But I haven't seen that really in my 4 years at Tufts. And the Parquet Court fiasco was kind of a big wake-up call. I mean, there's something lacking here at Tufts. We're missing out on an integral part of the college experience. See, show of hands. How many of you have heard of melisma? Look around. That's crazy. 10 years ago, you all have been like, of course, duh, melisma. Melisma's our music magazine. Everyone knows melisma. Melisma used to be a big part of Tufts campus, and it was really cool. But now, barely anyone's heard of it, and most freshmen have never seen a copy. It's only being run by 3 seniors right now, and they have no idea who is going to take over next year. So the magazine could die with the class of 2013. Actually, 2 Tufts musicians noted this recently in an issue. Maeve and Sam stressed the lack of tradition here at Tufts and how we have a horizontal culture. They compare us to Columbia. And it's not the first time we've fallen short of our university's peers. Just look at Outbred. I'm sure most of you haven't heard of Outbred. It's our literary magazine, and they basically had to shut down production last year after 2 out of 10, that's 1/5, of their students transferred to Wesleyan and Brown because they thought that Tufts didn't have a viable creative writing scene. These consequences are astounding, right? We're actually losing students because we lack inheritable culture. And then this turns into kind of a vicious cycle When we lose passionate students, we lose all of the cool events and stuff that they would bring to our campus. And then we lose more students because we don't have cool stuff. And so on. I mean, I think we desperately need an art scene. We're young. We are college students. We're supposed to be at the apex of culture. We're supposed to know what's going on right now because this is our moment. After all, I mean, this is a liberal arts school. So where are the live shows? Where are the poetry slams? Where are the weird scenes? Right now, they're off campus. In the last few years, a bunch of students have turned their own privately rented houses into alternative spaces and venues. Forewarner, I see them over there, they hold a weekly salon every Friday. And 3 Capon, which is over there, they have folk concerts every month. And this is cool. I mean, they show vision and a do-it-yourself kind of dedication to culture at Tufts. But they aren't sustainable. I mean, we all know, only upperclassmen can live off campus. So freshmen barely hear about, let alone muster up the nerve to go to some stranger's house, no matter what the event. And besides, these students can't actually choose who rents their house next year. So when they graduate, their entire legacy is lost. And you might ask, okay, why do I care about freshman attendance? I mean, freshmen. But freshmen are the key to sustainable culture. If we can't hand down anything to freshmen, then they'll have nothing to hand down to freshmen after them, and so on. It's why we lack inheritable culture today. But I'm not saying we can't change this. In fact, I know we can change this, and I've learned it through Canon. I am the editor-in-chief and founder of Canon, and it is our literary journal. And through forming it, I've learned basically how to form a ground-up, thriving literary scene for Tufts. And it was really, really hard. But I think it can serve as a model for other ambitious groups. So here's a little background. Canon used to be Outbreath, that literary magazine that died when its students went to more supportive schools for literature. And after that whole debacle, we were like, oh man, we really have to retool our efforts towards encouraging and including freshmen. So we created an enormous marketing campaign. And that's not all we did. I mean, you've probably seen our logo and our posters all over campus. We also created a brand for ourselves. We made events, we made Facebook and Twitter accounts, and we fostered relationships between the chat and the English department to form kind of like a solid literary base for our group. And it's worked. In the last semester, the number of submissions we typically receive has skyrocketed from 50 to 300. But more importantly, we've got our leadership lined up for the next 3 years because we made sure to get juniors, sophomores, and freshmen who are all equally dedicated to creating a literary scene for Tufts. And I know that I'm a senior and I should have way bigger concerns than what happens to Tufts after I graduate in a month and leave forever. Oh my God. But that's exactly the attitude that's gotten us here in the first place. This is what Canon has proven is all you need to create culture here at Tufts. But we just have a huge problem keeping it sustainable. It takes tons of dedication and outreach, but I know we can do it. I think we can all admit, though, that at Tufts, with the classes and the pressure of internships and PCs, we tend to lose this drive, and our school suffers in the meantime. We have to first consider culture essential to our college experience if we're gonna make it. This is our university, and we have the power to shape it into whatever we always imagined it would be for ourselves. But we have to take it upon ourselves. We have to take it upon ourselves to put the arts back in liberal arts.